Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Versatile.
Concentration of stress will be understood from this figure. So if you observe this figure, it is a rectangular component having a circular hole at the center. If you cut that particular hole from the center, the distribution of the forces or distribution of the stresses will be observed. So what we are observing from this diagram is that the stress at the point of the discontinuity. Now, what is mean by discontinuity or irregularities? That means a hole is created into the rectangular cross section, and wherever there is a hole is created, at that point a stress is getting concentrated or the maximum stress is getting created at that point. So what does it mean by stress concentration is that the stress at the point of irregularities or discontinuities in the component and abrupt changes in the cross section is called as stress concentration. So whenever there is a concentration of the stress at the discontinuities or irregularities or abrupt change in the cross section, it's called as stress concentration. What is the impact of the stress concentration on the design? That also we have to discuss. So let's begin with this. Sorry for interruption. In order to consider the effect of stress concentration and found out localized stresses, factors called as theoretical stress concentration is used. Now, to consider the effect of stress concentration, a factor was developed, that is theoretical stress concentration factor, and that is used for design of the component. That it says that highest value of stress near discontinuity, that was in our earlier diagram we have seen, that is sigma maximum divided by nominal stress obtained by elementary equation. And that means the stress which was available at the point where there is no discontinuity. So if we see the diagram, this sigma t is a nominal stress and sigma maximum is the maximum stress at the discontinuity. Hence, for this diagram, the Kt theoretical stress concentration will be sigma maximum upon sigma 0, and in case of shear stress this is tau max upon tau 0. So this is maximum stress at the stress notches or discontinuities or irregularities, and tau 0 is the nominal stress where there is no discontinuity. So stress determined by elementary equation, and sigma max and tau max are localized stresses at the discontinuities. So that is called as theoretical stress concentration factor. The next factor that we have to discuss is fatigue stress concentration factor. Now what does it mean by fatigue? That also we have to discuss, but let's understand first what does it mean by fatigue stress concentration factor and notch sensitivity. Now we have discussed that whenever there is a discontinuity in the component or irregularities in the component, or there is abrupt change in the cross section of the component, in that case there will be a concentration of the stress in the component. Now if you see, this is a scale. On this scale there is a sudden changes in the cross section is there. So due to that sudden change in the cross section, where there is a sudden change in the cross section or there is a discontinuity in the component, stress concentration takes place. Or due to the notches also there is a stress concentration. So for the component, what is the impact of that notches onto the stress concentration, that we have to discuss. So fatigue stress concentration factor as compared to theoretical stress concentration factor gives us an actual values. So whenever a component is subjected to stress concentration, we calculate theoretical stress concentration, and after manufacturing the component and after testing the component for fatigue loading, we calculate actual value of the stresses. So actual maximum stress in the notched specimen, that means maximum actual stress, this is maximum actual stress, and divided by actual nominal stress in the notch free specimen. So these are all actual values, which gives us fatigue stress concentration factor, and theoretical stress concentration factor gives us theoretical values. So that is the difference between theoretical stress concentration factor and fatigue stress concentration factor. The next parameter, that is notch sensitivity. So notch sensitivity is used to relate fatigue stress concentration factor with theoretical stress concentration factor. It indicates, this notch sensitivity indicates the sensitivity of the material to the notches. Now what does it mean by notch? So let's understand. If this is a rectangular component is there, and if I create some notch here, notch means if I make an abrupt change in the material component, so that due to that abrupt change there will be a stress concentration. And what is the sensitivity of the component to the notches is indicated by this notch sensitivity. So notch sensitivity is calculated by this equation, that is kf into sigma 0 minus sigma 0, that is increase in the nominal stress or maximum stress or nominal stress for an actual value, and increase in the maximum stress or nominal stress for theoretical values. So this is the ratio of notch sensitivity. If we put, that means sigma maximum minus sigma 0, this is in increase of maximum stress or nominal stress for actual values, and similarly sigma maximum minus sigma 0 for theoretical value, that means for KT. So after eliminating these values, and if we remove sigma 0 common, so equation will become sigma 0 into kf minus 1 in the numerator, sigma 0 into KT minus 1. So if sigma 0 and sigma 0 will get cancelled, that is nominal stress at the notch free specimen, that will be a constant value, hence the ratio will become kf minus 1 upon KT minus 1. So after simplifying the equation, we will get Q into KT minus 1 is equal to KF minus 1. And the final equation of fatigue stress concentration factor that we have to use for our design for the component subjected to fluctuating load will be KT minus 1 plus 1, that is fatigue stress concentration factor. Now, this causes of stress concentration factor. So here this is causes of stress concentration factor are like abrupt changes in the cross section. Abrupt change means if this is a rectangular component, and in this rectangular component if I make sudden notch at any particular cross section, so this abrupt change in the cross section will result in the concentration of the stress. So this is one cause of that stress concentration, poor surface finish. Now for a component, like if there are irregularities on the surface of the component, so that irregularities also causes a stress concentration. Then localized loading of the component, if there is a continuous loading at any one point of the component, that will also result in stress concentration. Then variation in the material properties, then that means if the material is not homogeneous at all cross sections, that heterogeneous material will result into the stress concentration of the component. So these are various main causes of the component or stress concentration. Then what are the methods for reducing the stress concentration? Though stress concentration cannot be eliminated totally, because the irregularities in the component sometimes are functional irregularities, like in case of the component, for joining the two materials with each other or two components with each other, we create the hole through nut bolt that we are joining that component. So these are functional irregularities in the component that we cannot eliminate that, but we can reduce the effect of that stress concentration. How effect of stress concentration is reduced? By creating gradual changes in the cross section. Now if you take this example, instead of sudden changes in the cross section, the gradual changes in the cross section takes place like this. So notch, I cannot eliminate the notch, but instead of creating a sudden notch in the component, I can create a gradual notch in the component. Similarly, at the corner of the rectangular component, sometimes we give a fillet. So instead of this sudden change in the cross section, we can give a curvature fillet in the component, so that we can eliminate the sudden change in the cross section. We can improve the surface finish of the component to reduce the stress concentration, maintaining the stress lines of the component as fine as possible. That means during the manufacturing of the component, the stress lines, we can maintain the stress line as fine as possible to reduce the impact of stress concentration. Now we will move ahead with our important point, that is fluctuating stress or the fluctuating load. Now the name of the unit is design of components subjected to fluctuating load. Now as we have discussed that the load which remains constant with respect to time is called a static, and we have designed the component in unit number 1 and unit number 2 for the load which was static load. Now there are major components into the mechanical industry which are most of the times are subjected to fluctuating load. Now, what does it mean by fluctuating load? The load which varies with respect to time in magnitude as well as direction, or in magnitude or direction, is called as a fluctuating load. And due to that fluctuating load acting on the component will be subjected to a fluctuating stress, and that fluctuating stress nature is represented by this diagram. So this diagram represents stress versus time. This diagram was force versus time. So this nature is fluctuating force or load, and this diagram which represent fluctuating stress. So stresses induced in the component due to the force which vary in magnitude and direction with respect to time are called as fluctuating stress, and the failure takes place due to this kind of stress are known as fatigue failure. So earlier we have discussed fatigue stress concentration factor, and now the meaning of fatigue failure is the component which fails due to fluctuating stress are called as fatigue failure of the component, and for that failure of the component we are calculating fatigue stress concentration factor. Now from that diagram, the load which varies with respect to time is called as fluctuating stress. Now that fluctuating stress has some maximum value from the x-axis, it has some minimum value from x-axis. There will be some mean value indicated by sigma m, that is mean stress, right? And there will be an amplitude of the stress, right? So this stress amplitude from the mean axis is indicated like this. So there are two major parameters are there in case of design of components subjected to fluctuating stress. One is mean stress and another one is in stress amplitude. These 2 points we have to remember. And the major point we have to discuss and why there is a separate unit on the design of components subjected to fluctuating load, because if I draw a stress strain diagram, now you all know from the basic of strength of material that during stress strain diagram for a ductile material, the material fails after reaching an ultimate tensile strength, that is SUT. But in case of an component subjected to fluctuating stress, the material may fail, or it's always fail below ultimate tensile strength, or it never reach ultimate tensile strength of the material. It may fail below the ultimate tensile strength, and sometimes it also fails below yield strength of the component. Hence, the design of component subject to fluctuating load is very important from mechanical engineering point of view for the safety of the component. As we have discussed, failure takes place below ultimate tensile strength or sometimes may fail below yield strength. Hence, we have to focus on design of components subjected to fluctuating stress. Now in this particular design of components subjected to fluctuating stress, there are two special cases of the fluctuating stress, that is completely reverse stress and repeated stress. Now from the diagram it is very clear that the stress which varies from positive value to negative value, again positive value to negative value, that is completely reversal of the stress takes place. The nature is again it is varies with respect to time, but it is varying from positive value to negative value, positive value to negative value. Suppose this will be tensile stress, this would be compressive stress, this will be tensile stress, this will be compressive stress. So cyclic nature of the stress is acting on the component, that is called as completely reverse stress. This is one special case of the fluctuating stress. And second nature of the fluctuating stress is repeated stress. That means stress is continuously varying from zero value to maximum value, then again zero value to maximum value, zero to maximum. And in this case, and due to these two special cases, as we have discussed, stress amplitude and sigma mean, that is mean stress, are important from design point of view. So in case of completely reverse stress, mean stress is absent, and only stress that is available into the component for design point of view is stress amplitude. So stress amplitude is available in completely reverse stress, and in repeated stress, sigma A is also present, that is stress amplitude is also present and mean stress is also present. So both sigma A and sigma M is available into the repeated stress.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you very much.